Okay, everybody, well, welcome to our lesson for today. My name is Alastair. I am your teacher for today's conference lesson, and it is my pleasure to introduce a presentation today all about understanding British humour, jokes and irony. So the lesson will help you to decode the subtlety of British wit. I hope so. Okay, well, let's get started. Well, it's great to have you all here. Let's have a look at the agenda for today. So we have 4 parts to our agenda today. Number 1, the heart of British humour, irony, understatement and wit. Number 2, indirectness and humour, saying one thing, meaning another. Number 3, from TV shows to small talk. And the last part, number 4, learning to laugh in English. Okay, so yes, we have just started the conference. You're absolutely right, but welcome. And we've just read out the agenda, so you haven't missed much. So, the heart of British humour, irony, understatement, and wit. British humour can seem strange at first. It's quiet, clever, and full of hidden meanings. This topic explores how irony, understatement, and wit shape conversations and jokes. So get ready to laugh, even if no one's actually smiling. Exactly. Okay, well, welcome to the lesson. We've only just started. There we go, great. So British humour can seem strange at first. It's quiet, clever, and full of hidden meanings. This topic explores how irony, understatement, and wit shape conversations and jokes. Get ready to laugh, even if no one is actually smiling. Okay, so I can see a message in the chat about not being able to hear. I think that the volume is okay. Can everybody else hear me okay? I just want to check. Yeah, okay, great. So thank you so much. Well, then I shall continue. So rather than laughing loudly, Brits often smile at clever wordplay or sarcasm. Understanding the tone, context, and double meanings is key to fully appreciating British humour. So rather than laughing loudly, Brits often smile at clever wordplay or sarcasm. Understanding the tone, context, and double meanings is key to fully appreciating British humour. So, what is British irony like? Okay, so irony in British humour often involves saying the opposite of what you mean. Usually to be funny or mock a situation gently. It's dry and understated. The speaker may seem serious, but the real message is hidden. Okay, so we've got an example here at the pub. 2 friends talking, A and B. Okay, so let's have a listen to their conversation. Hi there. I'm just going to turn off your microphone. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So we're just trying to keep those microphones off for the duration. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get back to our example conversation at the pub with A and B. So, how was your date last night? Oh, amazing. She spent most of it texting her ex. Sounds like true love already. Here, true love is ironic. The speaker means the opposite. Let's have a listen to that one again. So, how was your date last night? Oh, amazing. She spent most of it texting her ex. Sounds like true love already. Okay, so here true love is ironic. So also is amazing. He's not being serious because she spent most of it texting her ex. So this is an example of irony. Now, what is understatement? Well, understatement is when someone deliberately makes a situation seem less important or dramatic than it really is. It's a typical British way to stay modest or calm, even in extreme situations. So, understatement is when someone deliberately makes a situation seem less important or dramatic than it really is. It's a typical British way to stay modest or calm, even in extreme, stressful situations. So we've got a real historical example here. During World War II, a famous British Air Force pilot, Sir Douglas Bader, who had lost both legs, said, "My legs have been giving me a bit of trouble." Now, of course, this is understatement. He had serious problems with his legs. So this was a huge understatement, considering he had no legs, but it reflects the British habit of downplaying difficulties. Let's have a look at the next part here. So we're going to think about wit. So wit is quick, clever humour, often based on wordplay, sharp observation, or intelligent jokes. It shows creativity and timing, and it often surprises or delights the listener. We might say that someone who is good at this form of humour is quick-witted. She is very quick-witted. So wit is quick, clever humour, often based on wordplay, sharp observation, or intelligent jokes. It shows creativity and timing, and it often surprises or delights the listener. So here we have 3 short wit examples. Number 1, I can resist everything except temptation. That was by the famous British author Oscar Wilde. I can resist everything except temptation. Number 2, you look like you're in a good mood. Who did you fire? And number 3, I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right. Okay. So, how foreigners can understand it? So, wit relies on wordplay, idioms, and cultural references. To understand it better, listeners should focus on English expressions, jokes in context, and how tone changes meaning. Watching British comedies with subtitles is a great start for this. So wit relies on wordplay, idioms, and cultural references. To understand it better, learners should focus on English expressions, jokes in context, and how tone changes meaning. Watching British comedies with subtitles is a great start. Okay. So the next part of the conference today, our presentation on British humour, is indirectness and humour. Saying one thing but meaning another. Saying one thing but meaning another. So, British humour is often indirect. People say one thing but mean another, using tone, context, or sarcasm to express their true message. This style allows criticism or jokes to be delivered politely or playfully. Instead of saying something directly, the British often prefer subtle hints, especially in awkward or formal situations. So let's think about how foreigners can understand indirectness in UK jobs, for example. So foreigners can understand indirect humour better by observing body language, tone, and facial expressions. Asking for clarification politely and listening to how British colleagues speak with each other can help. This is absolutely true. So sometimes perhaps we might be in a work environment with British colleagues and they seem to have this strange sense of humour. Don't be shy. Ask for clarification and they will help you to understand. Okay. Well, let's think about 4 common indirect humorous expressions that we can use. Number 1, that's one way of doing it. This is not a compliment. It's suggesting that that is not a good way of doing it. One more time. That's one way of doing it. Number 2, well, that went well. We usually say this after a disaster, meaning that it did not go well at all. Well, that went well. Number 3, I might be wrong, but... Now, this often means I'm right and you're not. Absolutely. I might be wrong, but this is an indirect way of politely joking that someone is wrong. And the last one, very common, let's agree to disagree. Okay, this is a polite way of saying we'll never agree. Polite and humorous. Let's agree to disagree, keeping things light-hearted. Okay, well, let's move on to the next part of our presentation this evening. From TV shows to small talk. Of course. Okay, now, British TV comedies have shaped how people speak and joke in everyday life. Shows like Monty Python, The Office, and Peep Show have introduced a unique mix of sarcasm, awkwardness, and absurdity into British humour. Shows like Monty Python, The Office, and Peep Show have introduced a unique mix of sarcasm, awkwardness, and absurdity into British humour. Well, let's think about each of these. Now, we're going to start with Monty Python. So this is an extremely famous TV show dating back a number of decades. Now, Monty Python is surreal and absurd comedy. Monty Python changed British humour by introducing surreal, absurd, and unpredictable sketches in the 1970s. Their comedy mixed clever wordplay, nonsense logic, and strange characters. It showed that humour doesn't always need a clear punchline. Absolutely. I love it. Okay. So, what type of comedy is Monty Python? Okay. It's an absurdist or nonsensical humour. It breaks rules, surprises the audience, and makes fun of seriousness. Sorry, I just needed to sneeze. I beg your pardon. Okay, well, let's have a look at an example from Monty Python, one of its most famous sketches, The Dead Parrot. So, the context. A man tries to return a clearly dead parrot to a pet shop, but the shopkeeper insists it's just resting. The repetition and absurd denial are key to the sketch's humour, but this sketch is a very good example of Monty Python and a very good example of British humour at its best, perhaps. Let's have a look now at another TV programme, The Office. Okay, another famous British TV comedy. The Office is awkward and realistic comedy. The Office, the UK version, made awkwardness funny. It showed everyday office life with uncomfortable silences, bad jokes, and embarrassing situations. This kind of humour influenced how British people use irony and self-deprecation in everyday life. So The Office made awkwardness funny. This kind of humour influenced how British people use irony and self-deprecation. So, what type of comedy is The Office? This is cringe comedy. This is cringe comedy. It makes us feel awkward and embarrassed and uncomfortable. It's realistic, uncomfortable, and very British in its use of silence and indirect humour. Well, let's think about a scene from The Office. It's very famous. The famous scene, the dance. So David Brent, the boss, tries to impress everyone with a strange, cringe-worthy dance. No one laughs. And of course, that's what makes it funny. Now, the comedian who played this actor, Ricky Gervais, is still very famous, and people still ask for him to do this dance routine. It was so famous in the UK. Okay, well, let's think about that third TV show mentioned earlier. It's called Peep Show. Now, Peep Show was all about dark and awkward inner thoughts. So it was a little bit dark and disturbing. So Peep Show became famous for letting viewers hear the characters' private thoughts, showing how people think versus what they actually say. It highlighted the gap between politeness and real feelings, a big theme in British humour. Okay, so it highlighted the gap between politeness and real feelings, which is indeed a big theme in British humour. Let's think about the type of comedy. So again, this is cringe comedy. It's realistic, uncomfortable, and very British in its use of silence and indirect humour. Now, within Peep Show, there was a very famous episode containing a wedding speech. So Mark gives a nervous and awkward wedding speech filled with hesitation and strange comments, with his inner voice, his inner voice reveals his panic and regret. The tension is, of course, between what he says and what he thinks, and this is what creates the uncomfortable humour. Okay, so 3 great British comedy TV shows there, Monty Python, The Office, and Peep Show. I recommend them to you if you want to explore British humour with TV. Okay, well, the next part of our conference presentation today is about learning to laugh in English. So we've got 3 tips on understanding the Brits. Number 1, listen for tone, not just words. Brits often sound serious when they're joking. So listen for tone, not just words. Brits often sound serious when they're joking. Number 2, expect the opposite. Irony and sarcasm often mean the opposite of what's said. So expect the opposite. Irony and sarcasm often mean the opposite of what's said. And number 3, a great tip for you all. Watch some British comedies. Shows like The Office. Blackadder is another great example. These will help you learn humour in real life situations. Okay, well, let's have a look at some examples of some common short expressions that you might want to practice with. Number 1, oh, brilliant. We use this when something goes wrong. Oh, brilliant. Number 2, well, that's just perfect. We say this after bad news when, of course, things are not perfect, but said in that tone. Well, that's just perfect. And number 3, as if. Now, we use this when we don't believe somebody or what they say. As if. Number 4, no pressure then. Now, this is used when there is pressure. No pressure then. Number 5, thanks a lot. Used when actually annoys, when we are not saying thanks. Thanks a lot. Number 6, I'll try not to be too excited. Not excited at all. Very good example of sarcasm. I'll try not to be too excited. Number 7, couldn't be better. When things are clearly bad, when things are not going well, this is an expression used to create levity. Couldn't be better. Number 8, well, that went well after a failure. That went well. Number 9, oh, living the dream. We use this when we actually think that life is boring or stressful. Living the dream. And number 10, don't all rush at once. And this is an expression we can use when no one volunteers to do a task or something. So don't all rush at once. Some great expressions there that can help you assimilate some English humour. Now, we've got 3 tips on making your own jokes. Number 1, start with exaggeration or understatement. Both are common in British humour. Number 2, play with opposites. Say something serious in a silly way or vice versa. Say something silly in a serious situation. Number 3, use safe topics. Yes, it's good to use safe topics such as weather, tea, or everyday problems. These are great places to begin. Perhaps not the best to start with things like politics when we want to try and make British style jokes. So use safe topics. The weather, tea, or everyday problems are a great place to begin. So making your own jokes in daily life. Well, start by copying the style. Use a funny comment about your day, like, my computer loves me so much it froze. Again. My computer loves me so much it froze. Again. British people enjoy light sarcasm, especially when it's self-deprecating or about shared experiences. Well, we're coming towards the end of the conference presentation today. I have a little conclusion for you to listen to. So, conclusion about British humour. British humour is clever, indirect, and often filled with irony, understatement, and wit. Understanding it helps you connect better in daily conversations at work and even in small talk. By learning to recognise the tone, style, and typical expressions, you'll not only laugh with the Brits, you'll start to sound like one too. Absolutely. Okay, guys, well, we have come to the end of our conference lesson for today. It just remains for me to say thank you for your attendance today on behalf of everyone here at Circle de Long and on my behalf too. It's been great to have you all here on this bank holiday Monday. I'm surprised there were so many of you today, but that's fantastic. Well done. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to stop recording now. So all the best for this week. I'll be back here next Monday. I'll see you then, I hope. Bye bye.